What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in. Before I get started, I just want to say please don't forget to like and subscribe down below. As you can see from the title of today's video, I need to talk about driving. I have been wanting to do a video talking about driving for a long time and my pet peeves. I am definitely someone that I do have a little bit of road rage. But the road rage is stem from is ignited when people are just completely driving like lunatics and they don't give a shit about anybody except for themselves. So yeah, I will first say that, but I feel that I'm a really good driver, and I feel that I have a place that I can a place to stand on to speak on about this topic. As you guys, I live in North Jersey, so obviously New Jersey is a very different world than where I grew up in Maine. Like when I go home to Maine to drive, like I have to switch my brain back into Maine driving, where I'm like a little more chill, a little more do. But for the most part, I'm pretty do anyways. But yeah, let's just get into it. We need to talk about driving because it is madness out here. I'm doing this almost like a PSA, but also, obviously, some of the shit is hilarious to me. I feel like I'm constantly laughing, even though I'm also but, so let me just say, I'm coming up on 20 years that I've had my license. I got my license my first time. I'm saying all this to say that I think that, yeah, I'm a really good driver. I drive all the time. I love driving. And it's something that I literally love to just go for a ride and listen to music and scope out some cool scenery. That is something that my family's done that. Even growing up, we would just jump in the car on a Sunday and go for a ride and go where the day takes us. And so I still do that to this day, and I love it. But every single day, I go for drives every day. Every day I'm blown away by what I see. I see people driving. I'm surprised that there are not a million more accidents than there actually are. I'm actually surprised that there's not more accidents than there are, because people drive crazy. And not all just driving crazy, really aggressive, but yeah, just I just feel like a lot of people, they drive and it's almost like they drive exactly how their personalities are, which are they don't give a fuck about anybody else. They're not paying attention to anybody else around them. It's just them and their destination. That's all they care about. Their blinders are on. No one else exists. It's crazy. I want to say that, okay, when I think of what it takes to be a good driver, or the most important thing, and this is how I try to drive every single day, in order to be the safest driver you can be, you need to affect as little around you as possible. I try to drive in a way that my driving and what I'm doing and where I'm turning, where I'm going is going to affect as little cars around me as possible. And I feel like that's how I am the safest I can be, right? And what I mean by that is is paying attention and is making sure, the first thing I'm going to talk about, when I'm merging onto a highway. If I'm on a highway and I see that people are merging on from a ramp and I'm in the far right lane, right next to where they're going to merge into, common sense is to move over. If you have the space. Obviously there's times where you're so backed up that you can't really move over, so you just have to gauge their speed and you can still have it be a true smooth transition and a smooth merge if you're paying attention to their speed, to either go a little faster or a little slower to have it perfectly merge. But anyways, if I have space, I'm gonna move over, right? Common sense. I have all this space. Why would I not move over? All these people are coming onto the highway. So that is one of my biggest pet peeves, is when I'm merging onto the highway and people are just sitting in the right lane and they don't move over at all. They have the whole highway to themselves and they just sit right there where everybody is trying to merge. It's they don't, and then what's funny is like sometimes it seems like they literally are like don't even pay attention to anything. So it's like you have to either slam on your brakes or you have to go really fast to get in front of them because they're just completely oblivious. They're not even paying attention to anybody merging onto the highway. It's just like these are the things that just blow my mind because it just shows that people are not paying attention again to their surroundings. When I'm driving, my eyes are constantly scanning. I'm always paying attention. I can like gauge everybody's speed. I can, speed in back of me. Because of that, like that's how I try to drive where I'm just like everything is smooth around me. For example, like I'm the kind of person that, let's say I'm on the highway and I see a line of people are merging into the far right lane. I could be in the center lane. I'll see that someone's in front of me in the right lane. They're in the path of the people that are going to merge. They're the ones that I can see are probably going to have to move over into my lane, the center lane. I will see all this and just like, it's just second nature. I just will move all the way over so that because I know that they're going to need to move over and then all those people are going to merge in. Again, just keeping it so that everything is seamless. Same thing, like, I drive all the time, like, majority of the time I'm on the truck side of the turnpike in Jersey because it's usually actually way more chill than the car side. But, the trucks, like, for the most part, I think I have, a lot of respect for truck drivers because I can only imagine how tough that is. Yeah, and, like, obviously, like, if without them, we would have nothing. So I have a lot of respect for truck drivers, and it seems really, really tough, but it's just crazy how people even drive, like, with the truck drivers, like, that the trucks don't have the capacity to stop the same way that we do, to turn the way we do, things like that. So why are you not thinking about that if you're driving alongside of them? Like, have a little, like, you have to be mindful of them. Like, again, if I'm on the highway and I see that they're in the line where cars are going to merge with them, and a lot of times that the truck's going to move over into your lane, like, make some space for them, move over. So it's just safer for everybody. The smoother the transitions, the better, right? So same thing with merging onto the highway. Like, on the other side of that, one of my pet peeves is when you're merging onto the highway and the person in front of you who is also merging onto the highway, like, they don't know how to merge, and they either like are going, like, sometimes people will almost stop and like be almost like at a complete stop trying to merge into the highway. Or they'll be going like so slow, and it's like you're going 30 miles an hour trying to merge onto a highway where people are probably going 75 plus miles an hour. Like, does that seem smart to be merging onto a highway only going 30 miles an hour? Like, no, the smoothest way to merge is you have to try to match their speed as much as you can. People think they're being safer by driving slower sometimes, and in these situations, it's actually so much more dangerous. It's crazy. So yeah, like that happens all the time where people just like stop, or like they'll be going so slow and you can tell that the cars that you're trying to merge, the cars in back, are like gonna have to swerve around you. And like that's when crazy accidents happen. Like, you want to drive so that you never have to swerve around you and never have to slam on their brakes as little as possible. This is how we're going to be safest for everybody, Oh my God. So one of my biggest pet peeves, which happens all the time, like I see New Yorkers, like this has come like a joke. I've even seen memes about it when it comes to New Yorkers, because 9 times out of 10, if you see someone chilling in the left lane, in the passing lane, there's no one around them, they're just chilling there for no reason, it's a New Yorker. 9 times out of 10. Oh my God. Like, why are you just sitting in the left lane when you have the whole highway? Like, move over. And there'll be people who are doing that who, like, there will be people, so you're basically, like, there's cars next to them, so you'll be stuck behind them in the left lane, and I'll be sometimes even, like, motioning them, like, move over, because, like, they're not going fast. Like, why are you just sitting in the left lane? There's signs everywhere that say the left lane is for passing, like, stay right unless to pass. Oh my God. Of course, there's, like, a dump truck being, like, dealt with right now, and back of me, you can see it. Because that would happen right now. Maybe we'll just delete all this out. So yeah, the things that get me like the most heated though, and the things that definitely like I have no problem. Oh my God. I just feel like, I'm not that kind of person to just sit around and let people, I just get away with shit. People need to be checked. People need to learn lessons. If people are driving crazy, like, you don't have to drive like a grandma to be safe. I drive always over the speed limit. Like, I mean, I'm always driving fast on the highway, just like everybody else. But I am smart about it. I give myself time. I'm not on people's asses. I pay attention to what people are doing around me. If someone is flying up behind me because they do want to go faster than me, I'll pull over. Like, you know, I'll move over and let them pass and then do my thing. Like, no problem. That's what you're supposed to do to keep the traffic moving, you know? But when it comes to people who, like, some people, I mean, it happens all the time in New Jersey, especially like on 21. I'm like literally looking at 21 right now because I'm sitting on the river in Kearney. But they're literally drive like they think they're in like Fast and the Furious or something, like these, like, you know, like little tool of boys. Like there's like, oh my god, I say they're like kids sometimes, but no, it could be any age. But just like thinking that they're driving like they're in Fast and the Furious, like they're invincible. It's like, dude, like, you have a Dodge Neon, chill the fuck out. I mean, it doesn't, I'm just joking, but no, but sometimes it seriously is like the most ridiculous cars. You're like, all right, pipe down, you're not that cool. But even if it is a fancy ass car, like, why do you drive like that? Like, you think you're invincible? Like, no, like, you could actually hurt someone. And yeah, like, it just takes one time. It takes a second for something stupid to happen. And why would you want to even like risk that? Like, and again, you can still have a lot of fun driving and still not be driving like a lunatic. So another thing that happens all the time, like one of my pet peeves with driving, is when people like, okay, so this happens all the time to me. People will, like, I'll be in the left lane and I will be passing people. And there'll be people that come up behind me on my ass who, you know, clearly are making it known that they want to go faster than even I'm going. So again, I'll just move over and let them do their thing. But this happens all the fucking time, where I move over and then those people actually don't even want to go that fast. They just were on my ass for no fucking reason, just to be fucking tool bags. So they're just sitting right next to me and basically like in my blind spot, not even going that much faster. And like, it always happens where then I'm like stuck. You know, it's like I moved out of their way just thinking I'd be able to move right back to continue passing. Like, I'm going faster than a lot of the people, but I wasn't going as fast as them. So I was like, let them pass. But then they don't. This happens all the time. And it's like, then I'm stuck. Then I'm like, so what the fuck was the point? Why were you just on my ass? Like, it makes me think like, okay, I don't know what year cruise control got added to cars, but people really do not use cruise control and they do not use their blinkers. Like, two inventions that have probably been around for decades now. I don't know about cruise control, but I know blinkers around forever, and it's like still people act like they don't exist. And cruise control, like, set a speed. We're on a fucking highway. Like, set a speed so you can go the same speed. Like, why? Like, sometimes I'll be on the highway and it's like I'm going the same speed. Like, I literally have it set, you know, to 75, 80 on my thing, and then it's like for cruise control, and then I'll sit with the same car. We'll go like the whole time. We'll just be going like in front of them, back of them, and like it's just because they aren't paying attention. They're just like, and sometimes I'll look over at them and they're just like, you can tell they're just like la la la, like in their own fucking world. It's just like, oh my god, that's crazy. Let me see. So okay, all the time, like near my house, like people are always like sitting, there's always green lights that people are sitting at, especially like, do you ever notice it's the green lights that, like, if it's a, you know, the 3 lights and then it has the special arrow green light, it's always those lights that people like don't pay attention or don't see it. I mean, I get it, it's a smaller arrow, but oh my god, there's this one right here in Kearney where every single time people are just sitting on the green light forever, just sitting, and there's like a whole line of traffic, like it's a really busy turn, and I'm just like, oh my god, like go. It's so annoying. You know, and it's not like, again, like it's not about being like, I think it's ridiculous when people are those people that honk the second the light turns green. Like, no, you can give someone a second. I'm not gonna honk at you the second it turns green, but if we've been sitting here for a good like few seconds, like, come on, like, get it together, let's get going here, pay attention, you know. Oh my god, another thing is, like, it happens all the time, is when I'm coming behind someone, they're turning left, let's say, we're at an intersection, they're turning left, and there's a lot of people behind me and we're all trying to go straight. like, you, again, if you're trying to drive where you're affecting as little people around you, I make sure to always, like, when I'm taking a left, to be as close as I can to the middle line and the middle of the lane, the middle line, so that the people can go around me and keep the traffic moving. No, there's always people who just like sit in the middle of the lane. Everybody has to wait behind them. And then of course, those are also the same type of people that pass up on like a million opportunities that they could have made the left turn. Like, there's like, a quarter of a mile between two cars and they're still not moving. And that's always those people that are just take you over the whole line, like, we need to get it together, people. Like, I'm saying, making this as like a PSA almost, like, I don't know what people are doing out here, but like, again, is the safest way to drive is just to be the smoothest. Like, how can you drive so that you're affecting the least amount of people around you? That is how we can be the safest. Oh my God, let's see, do I have anything else? And like, so like I said, I definitely have road rage. Like, I realize, like, people aren't gonna learn, like, if I just give someone the middle finger or something, like some douche who's like, thinks he's some hot shot in some car driving like he's on Fast and Furious. Like, if I just give him the middle finger, like, do you know how many people giving him the middle finger? He doesn't give a fuck. He's not gonna give a shit if I just give him a middle finger. No, so I've actually had times recently where, like, I have no problem being a crazy girl and making you crazy and kind of like blowing up at you and getting you a little scared, because you know what? Maybe that actually saved your life. Maybe me being a little crazy and you being like, oh, that chick is crazy, will actually make you think about driving like a maniac the next time. And who knows, that could potentially like save your life. Like, it's funny, the lessons that we've had that actually were blessings, right? Like, things. So I feel like the only people are gonna actually learn is if you kind of go off on them a little bit. I had a situation recently, like right here in Kearney, where I was driving on a road that it's 25 miles an hour, and a car came up on me, like, was swerving around me, flew around me, was going so fast, again, by churches or by schools or the playground, and just to go nowhere. Like, we came up right at a light, of course, because you always come up right next to a light. Like, there's no point. And I ended up like following him for a while and like coming up to him at lights and like trying to get really close to him and scaring him. And I was yelling at him. And I was like, I did it for a while because I wanted him to be a little scared. Like, I wanted him to remember it. Because again, if I just like flip someone off, they're not going to remember that shit. They're not going to go fuck. They're going to just drive like that all the time. And potentially could kill someone or a dog or something. And so I'm fine with being like the crazy person. I'm fine with you thinking I'm a crazy person, because I don't want you to kill someone. And I'm trying to actually, like, what people don't realize is that when I'm doing that, it's also because you could potentially hurt yourself too. And even though I think you're a tool bag and you shouldn't be driving like this, obviously I don't want you to die. So get it together. I'm gonna fucking flip out on you and get fired up on you so that maybe you'll learn a lesson, because clearly you haven't had things happen that made you already learn that lesson. Because our lives, and like, we drive these cars, like, these cars are dangerous. Like, obviously, like, it's a privilege to be able to drive, and like, it's not something to be taken lightly. And obviously, like, one of the biggest causes of death is accidents, and it's just ridiculous that people like play with people's lives like that and with their own life. And sorry, this is going to a deep place, but I just needed to like make this video, because what are we doing out here, drivers? I'm speaking to all of y'all drivers out here. Let's just be smart. Let's get it together. You can still have fun. I can outdrive any of y'all. I have drive a stick shift. I've driven a stick shift my whole fucking life. I can outdrive any of y'all, but I still don't need to drive like a tool bag. I can still not drive like I'm gonna fucking kill someone or cause an accident, okay? Like, you're not that cool. If you drive like a tool bag, it just makes me feel like you have a tiny ass dick, And like that's a lot of times what I do now too, is I don't even give everybody a middle finger. Like now I'm always just going like this to dudes, like making sure they like, you're like, you have a little dick, and I'll go like this. I'm like, you have a little dick, huh? Because it's little dick energy, yo. Why are you trying so hard? Why are you trying to show off so hard? Like, you're trying to impress for what? If you actually had your shit together, you wouldn't want to fuck it up by doing something reckless, right? So that's how we know. Little dick energy. Yeah. Like, what cracks me up is when people are driving, like, let's say, again, it's usually when I'm on a highway. You're on a highway, and people, like, you can tell, want to go crazy fast. They are behind you thinking that you're going slow, and it's like, no, it's because the road is packed. Like, it's just one of those days where the road is packed, there's a lot of cars, and yeah, we all want to go 80, but some days the road is just so packed that you have to go 70. And that's just is what it is. And so it cracks me up when these people are like, you know, want to go around me, and they want to, and then they do, like, maybe they do go around me, they think they're all badass, and then again, they're just caught behind a bunch of people, because you just have to like drive and be able to gauge. Like, obviously, like, there's just certain times where we want to drive whatever speed you want to drive, but it's just not going to happen. And like, you know, driving, even like, it doesn't even make you get somewhere that much faster. Like 9 times out of 10 I will end up like right next to someone at a light, like someone who's been driving crazy. And it always cracks me up. Like, I love when I come up next to them, and sometimes I'll like, especially if they did something really extra around me, like, you know, obviously we remember each other, so when I come up to the light, I'm just like, here I am, hey, what's up? Like especially like when you like when they know there's gonna be a light coming up, like, I don't even know, like, just drive, like, chill out. Like, what's the point? Like, you're just racing to get to the light so that you can sit there at the light longer. Cool. All these things. Like, another thing is too, like, and this is not a funny thing, but when just like tailgating in general, like people who drive on my ass, like, I have a little bit of PTSD because I have been, like, I was in an accident in the Lincoln Tunnel. Two of my friends were in the car with me, they'll remember, and it was crazy because, like, one of my friends was sleeping in the back. We had been hanging in the city, and if you're like, it was one of those times where when you're in the tunnel and it's trafficy, like, and you're just bumper to bumper going through the tunnel, there's a lot of times where you're kind of like, you know, going a little fast, and then you have to stop suddenly and go, and like, so it's sudden stops. And like, of course, like, those are the times, like, you can't be driving on people's asses. Like, you need to give yourself space because you need to be able to stop very quickly. And of course, this person was on my ass. I had to stop very suddenly because the person in front of me was stopping suddenly. This person was on my ass, so they like had to swerve around me to try not to hit me. By doing that, they hit the person next to them. I mean, of course, this all happened so fast. All I know is that I got slammed into in the middle of the Lincoln Tunnel. I got slammed into on my passenger side. It woke up my friends, and they're like, you know, both our cars were still drivable, and it was packed, so they were like, we'll meet you on the other side of the tunnel, so that we could like keep the traffic moving, which of course I'm stupid. I wasn't thinking. I just trusted them, and thank God my friends like got their info before they were too far away. They had already taken their license plate, because of course when we got to the other side of the Lincoln Tunnel, they were nowhere to be found. But because we had their license plate, we did track them down, and all was well. And thank God I was on the New York side of things, because New York does things different with insurance. But anyways, I was on the New York side of the tunnel, thank God. But yeah, like, so I have PTSD when it comes to that. When it comes to like even in the tunnel still, like, I give myself so much space, and I don't care. There'll always be people on my butt, but it's because then I can pay attention to them, because I just do not trust people. Like, I don't trust people out here. Like, that's why I drive very, very defensively. I'm always paying attention. You know, like, I have my horn, I have my steering wheel, I have a stick shift, I have a brake, I have all these things to prevent my eyes, you know, I have all these things to prevent an accident, and I'm going to do everything I can to prevent myself at least being in an accident. We have a lot of ways to prevent an accident, so it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm thankful that more accidents don't happen, but I think a lot less could even happen if people just like got it together, because we have a lot of tools at our disposal here. Like, you know, that's why I give myself space, so that if I can see if someone's gonna run into me, I have a lot more space, like, because I gave myself space in front of me, I can keep going. Like, that's why I do that, you know. So we just have to be smart out there. All right, that's my video ranting and going off about this, but oh my god. It's like I have road rage with driving and people are ridiculous. I hope you have a good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Have a good day. Bye.